Welcome to the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host, Rachel Zaleski, and today we'll be talking about the NCAA Final Four, baseball, and the first update of the NBA season. It's all yours, and it's all now. The NCAA men's basketball field started with 68 teams just 2 weeks ago and has now been trimmed down to 4.
Yeah.
The Zaleski Sports Bracket Challenge shows me, once again, with the big lead in first place so far. Just like in football, I think I just know what I'm doing. Jason, go ahead. Tell me, is that correct?
It is correct.
Yeah, good. That's all we need to do. Show's over. Thanks for watching, everyone.
All right. Yeah, see you, bye.
See ya.
No, listen. First place and probably locked in. Or at the very worst, since we've got Masters coming up, you're dormy right now on the rest of the competition. We can look that up for our word of the day later. But we'll explain Masters coverage next week, what dormy and match play and all that. So, but Rachel's got such a big lead, probably not going to be able to get caught. And so first place is just about guaranteed for you. And really, it's on the backs of a couple things, and we won't dwell on this for too long. We've got stuff to talk about. But you got 3 of your 4 Final Four teams correct: Loyola, Villanova, Kansas, and only missed on North Carolina, and instead Michigan. So you put on the sweater, and here we are.
I will admit only to one thing, one truth, and that was that I let the generator make the call on my team choice.
Computer cheater, just like a Rooski.
Next year I'll do it differently.
Okay, so anyway, so 3 or 4, the 4 though you mentioned.
Yeah.
We started with 68, we're down to 4. Villanova, Kansas, the only blue blood left in the tournament. They beat Duke, another one. And then Michigan beat Florida State. There are some upsets on that half. And then speaking of upsets, 11 seed Loyola from Chicago took down number 9 Kansas State, and there was all kinds of upsets behind those two. And Loyola Ramblers, along with Sister Jean, are in the Final Four, and they've got a lot of good things happening over there. They haven't lost a game in a long time. Recently, Sister Jean was asked what she gave up for Lent. She replied, losing, which is exactly right.
Such mouth.
Yeah, but there are some. Sister Jean has competition, though, now.
Yes.
All right, so we found this out earlier today. Father Ben from Michigan is the team chaplain. Coach Beeline goes to church, and Father Ben is the priest for church over at Michigan. And, Rachel, he got his degree from Loyola. That's right. So he's got some connection to Loyola, so he's going to have some fun. They got some cool things going on over there. And then, if that's not enough, former Michigan alum Jalen Rose, his grandma's 100 years old, and she's been talking trash all week. So you got 100-year-old grandma from Jalen Rose. You got Sister Jean. She's approaching 100. Father Ben is up there. We're going to reach a pinnacle there. And then, but really, I mean, Villanova, Kansas, that's a great matchup too. So it's all going to come to a head on Saturday night. Those 4 teams will play for the right. They'll play each other for the right to go to the national championship game. So it's either going to be Michigan or Loyola versus either Villanova or Kansas. And that's what we've got, Rachel. Final Four.
A lot of broken brackets up to this point. I just couldn't believe how many people's brackets are just...
Yeah, there's mine.
just trash. You got to just let the computer pick it. Okay, so moving on, Jason, it's
right.
baseball season.
Yeah, how about that?
It's baseball season, people.
Yeah.
The Brewers have their first game tomorrow afternoon against the Padres.
Yep.
What do we need to know about the 2018 Milwaukee Brewers?
Well, what I can tell you just right off is I don't know. There's not a whole lot to be excited about with the Brewers. They don't really have that guy that you got to go see. Oh, yes, I know Ryan Braun still plays there. But half of the Brewer fans don't like Ryan Braun anymore. Braun's got a new position some of the time. He'll play first base some of the time this year, depending on if it's a righty or lefty throwing for the other team. He may move back to the outfield sometime. That's really, there's no real intrigue for the Brewers. Bryce Harper, Chris Bryant, Paul Goldschmidt, Joey Votto, Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras, all these other big name players all wear different jerseys than the Brewers blue and yellow. So just not a whole lot to really hang on to right now. Corey Knebel back as a closer, so that's a little bit of stability there. I mentioned Braun. They've signed a couple. I'll go through their starting day, their lineup here for tomorrow. There's some new names again on there. They had to make some changes, Rachel, with their personnel and the batting order because for the last 2 seasons in a row, the Brewers have set the all-time records for strikeouts. That's offensive strikeouts, not pitching. So a lot of wild bats, and they had to get some things under control. So here's what we're looking at for starting lineups tomorrow. Lorenzo Cain, Kristen Yelich, Ryan Braun, Travis Shaw, Domingo Santana, Manny Pena, Jonathan Villar, Orlando Arcia, and then Chase Anderson is your opening day starter. So that's your pitcher. Now, Nelson is still on the shelf. He's still injured. So their best pitcher comes in the season hurt again, and he's been hurt often. So we'll see. I predicted 69 wins last year. I was wrong. They had 86. All right. So I'm going to go 80 this year. I still think they'll be a little bit less than they were last year, and they've still got the Cubs to overcome. The Cubs are still the best team in the National League, so for sure the best team in the NL Central. But they're going to play a lot of games, Rachel. You mentioned this earlier in the car ride over here. They play all the way till November, so a lot to be decided in baseball. So we'll see. Just not sure, though, that there's a lot to be excited about for Brewer fans this year. But head down to the stadium. One thing you're guaranteed is 82 games, weather-free. So you can see the game outside if the weather's nice, or they'll close the roof. So you're guaranteed to see a game. 3-hour drive from central Wisconsin. Go down and watch Brewers. Still a pretty affordable place to go watch a game. Family-friendly place. So baseball season's here, and that means golf is here, too. We'll talk about golf next week, though.
That also means warmer weather is hopefully on its way. We're just a couple of days short of some warm weather.
And here we are both in sweatshirts.
Ooh. So, moving on, our family went to the Detroit Pistons versus the Los Angeles Lakers just last night. Or actually, it would have been...
Yeah, last night. Well, Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. And we had such a wonderful time. My son is just a big Ball fan, the player for the Lakers.
Yep.
And
Lonzo Ball.
Yep.
Rookie.
And so I went ahead and I videotaped a lot of that, not a lot of it, some of the game, but a really fun vlog. And it's on my YouTube channel. You can check that out at Lively Rachel Am. And then otherwise...
Well, let's do this. Let's take a moment to watch 60 seconds of our time at the game last night. Then I'll come back and we'll tell you what we saw from an analysis standpoint.
Okay. We're at the Lakers-Pistons game. It's going to be a great game, and we can't wait to see some good basketball tonight, right?
I don't know if that's going to happen.
It will happen, and we'll show you what we see when we get to our seats.
No stairs here, it's fine.
Ooh, that's me! So the game is getting ready to start, and we're just watching warm-up. And you might recognize that player. Yeah, that's that Ball brother. That's my son's favorite player. Yeah, I know. Isn't that funny? So we're just here at the Pistons Lakers game, and we're going to have a good time. What's your post-game thoughts of the game, Jason?
Well, Lakers had momentum up until halftime. Pistons got off a buzzer beater at halftime to bring the lead down to 2. And then Pistons had the momentum from that point forward. had a better third quarter. Lakers had a really poor shooting third quarter and really looked like they were out of it by the time the fourth quarter started. And then, neither team really has a score, but that's where the Lakers really, their big missing piece on offense. They don't have a score. They don't have a go-to guy. They got a bunch of number 3 guys, and that's about
Ingram and Isaiah Thomas, but both were injured.
So Sports 101 today, we are going to be asking the question, what is a catch in the NFL? I think we've discussed this before.
I know that we have, and it's been something that's been undecided. Even something as simple, though, as catching a ball couldn't be figured out for years, and it got more complicated as the years went on. So let's start the conversation here. 3 years ago, at Lambeau Field, many Packer fans I know watch and sometimes enjoy the show. Remember in a playoff game 3 years and a couple months ago, Dez Bryant, catch, not catch. Well, here's what we found out today. So the NFL rule, they've revised and simplified the catch rule to a catch is just catching the ball. I know that's hard to understand. What Dez Bryant did in that game is now a catch. So it's still a loss for the Cowboys. It would be a catch, though, today. So we'll just kind of simplify it that way. Right now, Rachel, we're going to go to the TV screen here, and NFL head of officiating, Albert Riveron, is going to update us on what a catch is.
Great.
The catch rule and rewrote it. 3 components of a catch: control, 2 feet or another body part, and a football move. And the football move, we'll give you some examples of reaching, bringing the ball in, a third step, but it's not limited to those examples. Everybody remember this play, right?
Throws a deep ball to the left side, and the ball is Bryant!
Control, right now, 1, 2, 3, we're done. The process of the catch is over. So in this situation, he's short of the goal line. Dez is short, right there. We place the ball just outside the goal line, and it's first and goal going in. Here's a situation where instead of 2 feet down, we have another body part, which is the knee. Once he reaches over, he breaks the plane, this play is over. We have a touchdown. Had this happened in the middle of the field, and he had not recovered this ball, it would have been a fumble, because he was not touched. This was a difficult one to explain to our fans. Control, 1, 2, 3. We're going to stop at 4 feet. So that's your football move. He hits the ground. Now this is a fumble. This happens in the field of play. It's a fumble because he hasn't been touched on the way to the ground. So once the process is over, if the player is touched and he hits the ground, it's over. In this situation, it's going to be a fumble. Are we going to have more fumbles? We might. But again, we want to take these great catches and make him catch it.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. This has been the Zaleski Sports Show. I'm your host, Rachel, and our sports expert, Jason. Go ahead and check us out on Facebook at Zaleski Sports Show. Otherwise, you can find us on Twitter at Zaleski Sports. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your week. Never mind him. Go Sports!
Go Sports! Wait, what are we talking about here?
This is a wide camera, and we're talking about basketball.
Hail to the victor.
Okay.